while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to...
These are your latest sports headlines this evening. I'm Dan McKay. ball back, plays it back to Rob Dickey, who lifts the ball into the box. It's flicked on by Dykes, tries to get it back towards Cher, who was over on that right-hand side. The ball is played out. I think it might have even gone out for a corner. Certainly very close to the corner flag. It is going to be a corner kick for QPR. So a good chance now to test this Bournemouth defence from the set piece. See, I mentioned that QPR have had a long rest before this game today. It can sometimes be a bit of a mixed blessing, though, of course, because it does mean that you're out of sort of match sharpness to some extent. But here comes the corner kick now from the right-hand side. Oh, it gets right to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's initially missed. I think it was Dunn who couldn't quite get on the end of it. Then a ball hoisted up in the air. Osman Kaiko, who was the last man back, he follows this ball and then just rolls it back to Dieng, although he's been closed down by Lewis Cook. Dieng rushes his clearance in the end, just plays it a little bit too far, and it goes all the way through back to Mark Travers. So 7 minutes on the clock, independent off-tube studio commentary. It is QPR 0, Bournemouth 0. There is one more game on our service this evening. It's from the Premier League, as Newcastle United take on Manchester United. There's a 8 p.m. kickoff. Plenty of games to be played tomorrow in the Premier League, albeit a couple of them have been postponed. Arsenal against Wolves and Leeds against Aston Villa. Still 3 games at 3 o'clock and an 8 p.m. kickoff as well. It's Bournemouth now in possession, deep inside their own half. It's with Chris Meffam. Stacey now bringing this ball forward for options. Solanke was well marked though by Jimmy Dunn. Ball played up in the air, and it's a bit of an awkward bounce here as well for Chris Meffam. Just about gets there in the end, uses Jack Stacey, and Bournemouth are able to play out from the back, and Stacey's got some space now down the right hand side, just running into trouble here in midfield. Slides across. That was, they might have been fouled. Free kick, says the referee. Playing on the ball now over towards the left hand side. Here is Lerma into the penalty area. Billing trying to follow that one in. Tussling with Rob Dickey all the way to the line, but that is going to go out for a goal kick to QPR. It's been a difficult time for Scott Parker. Inside beat Swansea 4-0. Followed that up with a 3-2 reverse away at Derby County. And then 3 draws in a row against Millwall, Coventry and Fulham. All those 2 defeats, as I mentioned, against Blackburn and against Middlesbrough as well. Important that Bournemouth get back to winning ways as soon as possible. They're still in a very strong position in the league after that great form they showed earlier in the season. Say QPR will be hoping that their fixture list isn't too disrupted now over the next couple of weeks. A couple of away games to come after tonight, away to Bristol City and then away to Birmingham City. That FA Cup game against Rotherham, that will be at home. It's a loose ball there, picked off here by Jordan Zamora. It's a bit of a loose pass from him though, couldn't quite capitalise there. That one goes straight through to Ilias Cher. He's under pressure going back towards Johan Barbe. He switches play over towards the right hand side. It's a good ball from Barbe to pick out Kai. Looking now towards Willock. Look to Johansson. Options left and right here for Johansson. Just rolls it now to Cher, back to Wallace. Rolled across towards Barbe, now back towards Dickey as Bournemouth are trying to press as high up as they can. QPR not wanting to play a long ball, but they're getting boxed in inside their own half now. Wallace in the end plays a long ball over the top. Jack Stacey heads that down, but it almost comes through as a good ball to Chris Willock. Just has to stop his run. Could have been fouled there by Jack Stacey. Referee Keith Stroud not interested though. It's now Johansson back to Jimmy Dunn. Sam Field, a bit of time going back towards Rob Dickey. So QPR just calming things down now in midfield. Here is Johansson again, going back towards the edge of the area. Jimmy Dunn being closed down here by Solanke. Barbe finding Cher. Options here, but Bournemouth are playing a very high line here. They're trying to restrict what QPR do when they get into possession. It's Wallace and Willock now exchanging passes down the left-hand side. Cher gets it back to Willock. Edge of the area, that could be a free kick to QPR as Meffam goes into the back of Chris Willock, and that will be a free kick. Good chance this for QPR now to try and get a shot away at goal. Might be just a little bit too close to think about a cross. It may be that a shot is the better option here. Meffam just getting a little bit too close to Willock. It's a pretty straightforward decision for the referee in all fairness. And Cher and Johansson are standing over this one. See whether it's going to be the right foot of Cher or the Left foot to Johansson, Keith Stroud just getting this three-man wall. Back the required 10. Looks like it's Cook, Solanke and Billing standing in this three-man wall. Certainly within shooting range. Bournemouth, of course, trying to play as high up as they can inside their own penalty area, just to restrict the options for a cross here. A couple of QPR players, I think, quite purposely are stood off in an offside position now. Wait to see whether or not Scher is thinking about a shot, whether it's going to be a ball clipped in by Johansson with the left foot. But here comes Scher. It is going to be a strike. It's a tame effort into the wall at waist height. The ball now played back towards the edge of the area. Switched back to Scher on the left. Just about keep this in play. Closed down here by Lewis Cook, trying to dance away from him. And then he goes back towards Wallace. Now Johansson. Johansson just drops the shoulder, edge of the area, tees this up now. No chance for Field to get a shot away though. Having to go back towards Scher on the left-hand side, up against Lewis Cook once again. Tries to feed a ball into the penalty area. Just a little bit under hit there though for Wallace. And then a bit of a strange clearance in the end there from Lewis Cook. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do. I think he was looking to try and play it cross-field, but he ended up just slicing it, so it's out for throw to QPR, albeit the pressing there from Solanke means that the home side having to go back towards their own keeper anyway. And then Dieng with a long ball over towards the left-hand side. Stacey heads it forward, but he can't keep it in play though. It's going to be out for a throw to QPR. So certainly now in the last 5 minutes, it is the home side that are looking a lot more comfortable on the ball. They're seeing more of the ball, for one thing. Still haven't really been able to get a shot away to test goalkeeper Mark Travers. I say that free kick opportunity he had a moment ago, wasted in the end there by Scher, but he's got another chance in now. That's a really good ball to find Kai, who's at full speed on the right-hand side. It's crossed towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed up in the air by Metham. A loose ball still to be dealt with. That's a good header away though by Lerma, who was actually pushed as he was heading that ball away. And referee Keith Stroud spots that. It is going to be a free kick to Bournemouth now. This will be a good chance for the visitors just to try and slow things down. Just been a little bit, almost run ragged really in the last 5 minutes. Certainly more in midfield, not too much in terms of actual play inside the penalty area, but we can see that it's just a little bit careless from Sam Field jumping into Jefferson Lerma, giving the free kick away. It's a bit of a shame as far as QPR were concerned, because they were still putting pressure on Bournemouth. To the visitors now with Captain Gary Cahill in possession. It's a long diagonal ball over to the left-hand side. Saslow couldn't keep that ball in play. And in the meantime, problems here for QPR. Elias Scher has just sat down inside the centre circle. And worried looks on that QPR bench. It's Amos, Dazelle, Austin, Thomas, Archer, Gray and Adoma on the bench for Mark Warburton this evening. Scher is the club's joint top scorer. He's got the second highest number of assists, created the most chances, and he's had the most successful passes into an opposition box. But the body language, the way he's shaking his head, it's not looking good here for Elias Scher. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he can play on. But for the time being, he's just being checked over. It's 14 minutes on the clock. It is goalless here between QPR and Bournemouth. Warburton just using this moment to have a quick word with a couple of his players as well. Want QPR to carry on this good start. Certainly looks like they're the side in the ascendancy now. But Scher gets up, needed to be helped up. He doesn't seem to be hobbling as he goes off the field. I never like to say these things too soon, because in the past I have said when players look like they're completely out of it, you say, well, he's not going to be coming back, and seconds later he's running back onto the field. So let's not say it too soon, but still not looking too good here for Elias Scher. Just walking off the field now, having a quick word with the coaches on the touchline, but it does seem as though they are prepared for him to come back on for the time being. I'm sure QPR will have a couple of players warming up just in case. But for the time being, Scher is going to come back on the field. And it's a long clearance now from Rob Dickey towards the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. That's straight into the hands of Mark Travers. Possession stats for the first quarter of an hour: 64% for QPR, 36% for Bournemouth. Visitors just starting to fall away a little bit. They had a better start here, Bournemouth. The last 5-7 minutes, they really have struggled to cross the halfway line with any kind of possession. They're trying to do so now with Stacey down the right-hand side. in towards Ryan Christie. Under pressure, going straight back towards Chris Meffam. Deep inside the Bournemouth half. Meffam back to Christie. Again, looked up, thought about playing a long ball, but QPR got everything pretty well sewn up here inside their own half, restricting any options here that Bournemouth might have. Cahill now towards Billing. Cahill under pressure here from Dykes, just going back towards Chris Meffam. So once again, the visitors just finding a bit of a brick wall when they're trying to cross the halfway line. Now Christie spotting a bit of space, plays the ball over the top. That's headed on by Phil Billing, but Solanke had just started to peel off to the right as that header from Billing went over to the left. Subsequently, it ends up with Timothy Dieng. Now it's Lee Wallace for QPR down the left-hand side, bundled to the ground by a combination of Christie and Cook, and that will be a free kick to QPR. Hansen still had Christie stood in front of him. It didn't bother him though. He just rolled it straight back to Barbe. QPR still trying to maintain this good pace. That's a bit of a pointless little shove there from Solanke at the edge of the area on Jimmy Dunn. Referee Keith Stroud does notice it though. He says he's playing the advantage. No point in giving QPR a free kick at the edge of their own box when their keeper can still clear it in open play anyway. But it's still a little bit petulant from Solanke. I just wonder if the referee might have a word with him once the ball does go out of play. Meantime, Sam Field finding Kai down the right-hand side. He goes straight back towards Jimmy Dunn. And it's square now to Barbe. Barbe strides forward, spots Field in a bit of space, and then there's some space here for Kai down the right-hand side as well. He tries an early cross. It's far too high for Lyndon Dykes, just touched on there by Jack Stacey. Goes out for a throw to QPR down the left-hand side. It's now with Johansson. It's it in towards Willock. Willock under pressure there, having to go back towards Stefan Johansson. Some experience in this QPR team. You look at someone like Stefan Johansson. He has this division for a good few seasons. Very, very confident left-footed central midfielder. Complements this QPR team very well as the ball goes down the left-hand side, searching for Willock. Good header out by Meffam. Quick throw taken here by Wallace to find Sher, who looks fine for the time being. Sher then going back towards Willock. But he was under pressure there, loses the ball to Christie. Meffam with the clearance, not a very good clearance. He goes straight to Ilya Sher, who tries a shot from the edge of the area, but it's a very tame effort. Rolls towards goalkeeper Mark Travers, just makes a very straightforward save. It is a shot on target statistically, but frankly, it's nothing that the goalkeeper would have been concerned about. He's got his own supporters, the Bournemouth supporters, behind him in this first half. So far, more action in front of the Bournemouth goal, but maybe that's an exaggeration to say it's in front of the Bournemouth goal. There's more action in the Bournemouth half, and that's probably a more accurate description of the first 19 minutes, with the visitors just struggling to get into any kind of rhythm. They seem to be the side more keen to go forward in the first 5 minutes, but since then, QPR really have taken this game. Ball now over towards the left-hand side. Stanislas cuts inside and gets a shot away as well. And for all that patient possession and build-up from QPR, there are some really quick players in this Bournemouth side, and we saw that as that ball got out towards Stanislas very quickly, got a shot away, but Dieng made a good save as Field is now going through the middle here, brought down by a combination of Billing and Lerma. Free kick taken quickly. So with Ilyas Sher, does playing that free roll very well, whether it's on the left or on the right. Mobile. Now with Willock under pressure here from Lewis Cook. Just turns away from him, plays it square now to Field. And he had a Billing on his back, so he goes back towards Dickey. And now it's Kai down the right-hand side. His pass is cut out by Jordan Zamora. Out for a throw to QPR now down the right-hand side. 20 minutes gone. Depending off Tube Studio commentary, goalless here between QPR and Bournemouth. Rangers now playing back towards their own penalty area. Clearance here from Jimmy Dunn. Almost ended up being a good ball towards Lyndon Dykes. Just had a little bit too much pace on it. I don't think it was intended as a pass in any case. Now Chris Meffam bringing the ball out for Bournemouth. Plays it towards Dominic Solanke, who dropped all the way to the halfway line just to try and get involved. And he's under real pressure there as well, as it was... Jimmy Dunn followed him all the way from his own half there to try and put pressure on Solanke. That really is taking man marking to the nth degree, something that you don't really see these days with so many teams doing phases and zonal marking. But there really, I mean, say it was Solanke taking the ball back into his own half, but still being followed by Dunn, who's clearly been told to stay on the Bournemouth number 9 this evening. And there he was again, trying to put pressure on the Solanke on the halfway line. It's with Zamora down the left-hand side now for Bournemouth. He goes back in towards Cahill and Metham. Now with a bit of time, just as he strides forward towards the halfway line. So it's been very limited possession for Bournemouth inside the QPR half, but they've got a bit of space now down the left here with Zamora and Stanislas. Stanislas under pressure, goes down. I thought he might have been fouled there, but the referee just gives a throw to QPR. It will be Osman Kaikai to restart play, but it was a really good ball from Christie. As a left footer playing on the right-hand side, Christie means he can get those great balls cutting across the defence. And that really was a good ball to pick out Stanislas. His effort in the end didn't put as much power on it as he would have liked, and it made it just that little bit easier for goalkeeper Timothy Dieng to save. Certainly the best chance that Bournemouth have had in the game. Trying to do what they can to win the ball back here, but it's gone out of play for a throw. It's Kaikai waiting to restart play here for QPR. Both sides, I think, just looking to try a little bit more of control of the game. I think QPR will be disappointed that 15-minute spell they've just had hasn't resulted in more work for goalkeeper Mark Travers, and the fact that in the midst of all that there was actually a good chance for Bournemouth as well. Just shows that it's not good enough just to have that possession and go forward. You just have to have that little bit of intricacy just to try and unlock that defence, because so far, by and large, Bournemouth have been able to cope with what QPR are doing. It's a long ball from Metham towards the edge of the area, and that's taken down by Stanislas. Billing was following in. Stanislas very nearly got onto the second ball as well before it was cleared away and out for a throw, but on this occasion Bournemouth trying the more direct route, and it very nearly paid dividends for them. It's out for a throw. Bournemouth now back in possession inside their own half with Chris Metham. It's Lerma just ahead of him. Christie's dropping deeper as well, but he was under pressure from Janssen, so it goes all the way back towards Mark Travers now. And Travers finding Metham. Shares closing it down. Everything's fine with Ilyas Shea. He looked really bad actually when he sat down. Just the expression on his face suggested that it was all over for him this evening, but doesn't seem to have any sign of an injury now. Clearance down the right-hand side, though, goes straight through towards Gary Cahill. So QPR have to be careful. We've seen that 2 or 3 times from the home side, where clearances from defenders or the goalkeeper have just been a gift of possession back to Bournemouth. And Christie now under pressure there from Lee Wallace, and fouled in the end by Lee Wallace. Scotsman colliding with another there, and the free kick is taken short. Christie now going back towards Cahill. Cahill over the halfway line towards Stanislas. Played back towards the left-hand side, and Zamora carried on his run, but he's well marked there by Kaikai, who heads it out for a throw. The players just massing now at the edge of the penalty area. Doesn't look as though Zamora's winding up for a long throw. He's got plenty of options if he could get a bit of distance on this. It's a real tussle there inside the penalty area between Solanke and Dunn as well, but it's a short throw in the end, just inside towards Solanke. Gets away, runs straight into his man, and then gets inside a free kick. That's good play there from Dominic Solanke. They're pushing and shoving at the edge of the area there as well, but Solanke was being really, well, it was almost too much there from Rob Dickey, and as he was getting away from Rob Dickey, just runs straight into Jimmy Dunn. Referee on hand there, Keith Stroud. It was pretty clear, I think, to the referee that Solanke's run was stopped. Now a free kick to Bournemouth in a promising position. Angle's probably just a little bit too wide to think about a shot, but one of these shot-come crosses which can try and just confuse the goalkeeper and the defence. Might be what's in order here. QPR setting up an offside line just inside their penalty area. It's Junior Stanislas standing over it. He goes for goal, and it's a good save from Dieng. Always had it under control, you feel, the QPR goalkeeper. Stanislas put plenty of power in, There wasn't really any deception in terms of where the ball was going, and Dieng pretty much from a standing position. Just had to shuffle his feet over slightly for two-handed, good, strong, confident save. Couldn't catch it, but he knew he was going to make the save comfortably. Corner kick for Bournemouth now from the left-hand side. Referee just waiting for a bit of order before he allows this corner kick to be taken. There's plenty of pushing and shoving there at the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's a ball whipped in at pace just past Dominic Solanke, and I think it comes off Osman Kaikai in the end. It's out for a corner. Corner to Bournemouth, back on that left-hand side again. Follow-up effort from Cook goes wide in the end. So certainly when that corner was whipped in, pretty well dealt with. It was just a little bit shorter than the previous effort. Good punch from Dieng. Gets it to the edge of the area, but it sat up nicely for Lewis Cook. And he watched that in for just sending it a little bit wide. Just came off the laces slightly as he was trying to get that into the top corner. Clearance now from Timothy Dieng, headed on by Dykes. It's away from Willock though, but it's back with QPR on the left here with Wallace. Wallace plays it into Scher, back to Dykes, who's a bit deeper this time. Finds Willock, just gets away from Lewis Cook. Over now to Scher, who runs straight into Jack Stacey, out for a throw. Rain starting to come down pretty hard over the Kian Prince Foundation Stadium now. It has been a sort of a grey, gloomy day across the country really. Lots of snow in the more remote areas, but it's been pretty damp everywhere else. As attack for QPR. They tried to be a bit more direct this time, just playing a ball in for Scher to chase into the penalty area. Just a little bit too much pace on that one. It is out for a goal kick to Bournemouth. 28 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. It is goalless between QPR and Bournemouth. That long break. And obviously it's not something that they wanted to have as long a break as they did, but just a combination of either COVID cases at Rangers or indeed with their opponents. So certainly question mark over every game really over the next few weeks. Across all the divisions we've seen a cancellation, certainly more prolific down in League 1 and 2. Has been havoc with the fixtures, and it's going to have an effect towards the end of the season. So all these games are going to have to be made up, but QPR now trying to get some ground up down the left-hand side. The ball just wouldn't set up for Lee Wallace, and now it's Lerma here for Bournemouth to Zamora down the left-hand side. It's been well marked here though by Sam Field, having to go back towards Lerma. Lerma now back towards Beckham on the halfway line. Finds Jack Stacey over on the right-hand side. So a little bit of pressure there, plays it in now towards Christie, but once again making it difficult for Bournemouth to have any kind of possession in their own half. Will now play towards Billing at the edge of the area. Billing trying to get away from Dunn. The ball then deflects into the path of Stanislas. Just holds it up at the left-hand edge of the penalty area, perhaps holding onto it for too long. Uses Zamora. Back now towards Stanislas. The ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's Solanke who heads it over the bar. That is a great chance. Bournemouth should be 1-0 up in this game now. And Solanke missing the header from just inside the 6-yard box. Lovely bit of intricate play there to play in Phil Billing. And Dominic Solanke, he's inside the 6-yard box. He's 4 yards away from goal when he heads that over the bar. It's a perfect cross from Phil Billing. It's dropping onto the head of Solanke. And for whatever reason, he heads that ball up rather than heading it down. And the scoreline stays at 0-0, but really it shouldn't have done. Great chance that for Bournemouth. That's where you want your number 9. Inside the 6-yard box with a cross dropping right on his head and nobody marking him. And somehow Solanke was able to look that's a gift and couldn't quite take advantage of it. And it's a real shame for Bournemouth. That cross from Billing could have been an assist, and it also would have been his last action, it looks like. He's now gone off the field. Looks to be, well, he's certainly Doesn't look too happy. I didn't see anything with Phil Billing sat down early, like with him being in any kind of discomfort, but now he's gone off the field. Bournemouth momentarily down to 10 men. Their bench, by the way, is Brady, Anthony, Marcondes, Kilkenny, Pearson, Lowe, and goalkeeper Nyland. But here come QPR now on the attack with the ball getting towards Dykes. Dykes finds a share on the right-hand side. Overlap here now from Kai. A left-footed cross headed away by Lewis Cook, and now flicked on by Phil Billing, who is back on the field again. It didn't look too happy when he was going off the field, but he's back on now, and he finds Dominic Solanke. Good run from Solanke down the left-hand side, back to Billing, who finds Ryan Christie. Christie into the box. He tries a right-footed strike. He's more of a left-footed player, really. You could tell he was trying to drop that shoulder and get that ball onto his onto his left foot. Forced in the end to take it on with his right, and he gets it on target. But again, there's nothing really for Timothy Dieng in the QPR goal to worry about there. Easy save for Rangers number one. It's Solanke with a good run down the left-hand side. He'll feel as though he's got a point to prove after missing that sitter a moment ago. He was certainly doing well down the left-hand side on that occasion, but QPR responding now with Kai getting down the right-hand side. Just stopped in his tracks there by Zamora. Now towards Jimmy Dunn on the halfway line. Barbet to Johansson, but you can see Bournemouth are just starting to press a little bit higher up the field now. I was just trying to force an error from their opponents. On clearance from Barbet goes straight into Bournemouth possession. It's now with Jack Stacey back to Chris Meffam. Meffam on the halfway line to Ryan Christie. Christie with that left-footed ball up towards Billing. It just doesn't quite get through to him. Now it's a chance for Sam Field towards Cher. Field again here for QPR. He was just starting to pick up in intensity. I think there was a spell where QPR had a lot of the ball and Bournemouth doing well to soak up the pressure, but QPR perhaps weren't doing enough with that possession. The game just seemed to be going into a bit of a stalemate, but now it just seems to have picked up that chance for Bournemouth, and we've just woken up the visitors as Solanke gets to the edge of the area, brought down inside the D. He thinks it's obvious that it should be a free kick to Bournemouth. Referee Keith Stroud doesn't agree. It's back into Timothy Dieng's possession. We'll see as Solanke gets to the edge of the area. Not so sure there's enough contact there with Sam Field. He's hit the deck there as Solanke, but not so sure that there was much contact really. Now up for a throw to QPR, the left-hand side. 4 minutes gone. It's still goalless here between QPR and Bournemouth. Sides had decent spells, but the best chance of the game must be this header from Dominic Solanke. Can't be missing a chance like that. It's unmarked, 4 yards out, and the cross is right onto his head as well. And that's the sort of chance that you can't miss, particularly, well, I say at home or away you can't miss it, but when you're away from home and the chances might be more at a premium, it's the sort of opportunity you have to convert. But here's Johan Barbet now for QPR with a long ball down the left-hand side. Willock couldn't quite get away from Meffam though, out for a throw to Rangers down the left. Wallace waiting to take this. Still waiting for his teammates to get a bit further upfield as well. A couple of short throw options here. Johansson is one, Willock is another. That's where the ball has gone. Willock flicks it back to Wallace. Bit of a fight for it at the edge of the area. Johansson then gets it back to Chris Willock. Then Willock to Johansson. That's a strong challenge, shall we say, from Lewis Cook. But quick pat on the back there from Johansson. Midfield generals there respecting each other, but it was a very strong challenge there from Lewis Cook. They say that more than one Premier League player would have taken exception to that, even though Cook won the ball, there was no issue with it. Throw to QPR down the right-hand side now as Osman Kai back towards Rob Dickey, and now Jimmy Dunn on the halfway line, under pressure here from Solanke. Square now to Barbet. Wallace, pressure there from Stacey. Wallace gets it up to Cher. It just gets away from him though. He's out for a throw to Bournemouth now down the right-hand side. Is he waiting to take it? We're now focusing on Ilias Cher again. He seems to be moving around absolutely fine. May well be that there's still a little bit of a problem there for him. But for the time being, doesn't seem to be any activity on either bench. Just as when we saw Phil Billing having to go off for a moment. Everything looked Seems fine with him as well as midfield part. That's a ball in the end over towards Wallace. Picked off by Lewis Cook, and now it's Ryan Christie to Phil Billing, and it's Bournemouth on the counter-attack. Billing gets the ball to Stanislas, left edge of the penalty area. Zamura's on the overlap, but the pass to Jordan Zamura is overhit there by Junior Stanislas. And he had a bit of a look back at his teammate there, but I'm not sure that you can say anything to Zamora here. It's Stanislas who's overplayed that pass. And although looking at the reaction there of Junior Stanislas, he's still making the point to his teammate that perhaps he thinks that Zamora could have got on the end of that. Zamora, well, seems like he's acknowledged that as well. Seems to be apologising towards Junior Stanislas there. I just think Stanislas might have given his teammate a little bit much to do. With around 8 minutes to go until half-time, it is still goalless. We're just starting to see a bit more of the ball inside QPR's half now. Clearance here for Willock to chase, but Willock is in an offside position. He's trying to chase this ball down. Down to the visitors. Taken quickly by Cahill. Billing. It's with Solanke. To Phil Billing, just getting over towards that left-hand side. Mark Warburton furiously trying to get something across to one of his players there. The ball was relatively close to the dugouts for a moment. So overall, I think Mark Warburton could just sense that his side have just lost the impetus in this first half. And it's certainly on that ticker that you sometimes see. It looks as though Bournemouth would be the more likely side to take the lead right now. Said QPR are making it easy here for the visitors to get forward, but Bournemouth seeing a lot more of the ball now in these last 5-10 minutes. It's now back with Gary Cahill. Stanislas down the left-hand side. He plays it back in towards Chris Meffam. Now Jefferson Lerma with a quick diagonal ball, but it's too quick, too fast, and nowhere near accurate enough to try and pick out the run of Lewis Cook. Out for a throw to QPR now on the left-hand side. Wallace now waiting to take this throw for Rangers. League table as well. QPR just a point behind Huddersfield and a point behind Middlesbrough. They've got 3 games in hand on those two sides, including tonight. Of course, after tonight it will just be 2. But if they could get 3 points this evening, they are 2 points clear of those two sides, and they still have 2 games in hand. Should put QPR in a very, very strong position indeed. A long way to go in the season, of course. With some sides like QPR on 21 games played. Quite a few sides on 22 and a few on 23 and even a few on 24. Shows how disjointed this season has become to some extent, of course, because of the pandemic postponements. Here come the Cherries now down the left-hand side with Junior Stanislas. It's to the edge of the area, stopped here by Kai, playing it back now towards Lerma. Getting into the box, Zamura runs straight into Rob Dickey, and then a good challenge there to try and keep the ball alive before the free kick is given in favour of Bournemouth in the end. The home fans and the home players aren't too happy about this, but it's going to be a booking as well for the challenge there. The referee feels as though that challenge from Field was just a little bit too much. I'm not so sure. We'll see from this replay. Billing plays the ball to the edge of the area. Zamora is stopped, and then it's Field bringing the ball out for QPR. He gets challenged by Zamora, and then he tries to win that ball back off Jefferson Lerma. Does he foul Lerma there? I'm not so sure that he does. I mean, to the referee, it seemed like it was a fairly obvious foul and a yellow card here for Sam Field. I'm not so sure there was too much in that, but it will be a free kick to Bournemouth in a good position. This left touchline. It's 10-12 yards out from goal. He's coming out back onto his feet to inside the penalty area. You've got Stanislas and Christie standing over this ball. Stanislas is right-footed, Christie left-footed. To Solanke, no surprise, he's getting plenty of attention inside that QPR penalty area. The problem was that chance he had earlier in the half. Nobody was paying any attention to him. Still couldn't get his header on target. Referee Keith Stroud just trying to get a bit of order inside that penalty area. Pushing and shoving. Finally see this free kick now. It's going to be the right foot of Stanislas. It is the right foot of Stanislas, whipped in, headed on and into the back of the net. And it's a harder header this time for Solanke, but he gets it into the back of the net. And on 41 minutes, it's Bournemouth who lead at the Kian Prince Foundation Stadium. Disappointing for QPR. Made a better start in this first half, but Bournemouth have been in the ascendancy for the last 10 minutes or so. And after that gilt-edged chance that Solanke missed, he makes up for it now with a much more difficult effort with his back to goal, just angling that header, using the pace of the cross. It's a very clever header there from Dominic Solanke. Timothy Dieng, the QPR keeper, is rooted to the spot. Can't do anything with this as it heads towards goal. And it's Bournemouth that take the lead with about 3.5 minutes to play in this first half. Real frustration for Mark Warburton, whose side made the better impression early on, but Scott Parker will feel as though his side have responded well. And it's the 18th goal this season for Dominic Solanke, justifying that number 9 on his back. QPR restart play quickly here, and almost too quickly there. Caught in possession now with Christie chasing a loose ball down. Barbe should get there first. Plays it to Wallace. Wallace leaves this now for Willock, who's dropped deep into his own half. He then goes back towards Johansson. Johansson's pass to Cher is overhit. I think there might have been a foul as that ball was cleared by Johansson. I'm not sure if referee keeps trying to give there, but it is a free kick to QPR. The pictures we were getting, TV pictures, followed the ball. Must have been a bit of a late challenge there on Johansson as he made the pass. QPR have taken the free kick short, and they're off down the left-hand side now with Ilya Cher. Had a bit of space down the left as well. He then finds Wallace. Wallace back towards Johansson. Johansson chips the ball into the area. Here is Cher trying to get away from Meffam. Leaves it now for Willock. So Willock at the edge of the box, stepping away from a couple of players before leaving this one. It's a strike coming in from Cher. Gets a deflection. Almost fell into the path of Osman Kaikai, but it's now cleared back into midfield. Sam Field does well to keep that ball in play for QPR. Back now to Dickey. One square to Cher. Over now towards the left-hand side for Chris Willock. Willock does well to get away from Lewis Cook. Back with Wallace. Cook won't take no for an answer though. Closing down there on Lee Wallace. With Jimmy Dunn, back to Johansson. QPR, few attacking options on that bench. In Charlie Austin, Diamond Andre Gray. Certainly, we'll have to think about that at half-time. The side just lost that sort of early momentum. And what's frustrating as well is that I don't think that Bournemouth necessarily changed all that much about their approach. They just started to be a little bit more expansive, and it immediately seemed to put QPR under more pressure as here come the Cherries again down the right-hand side with Christie back towards Jefferson Lerma. Lerma flips the ball into the box, headed away by Jimmy Dunn, and back towards the halfway line. Dykes feels as though he may have been fouled there by Cahill. Referee just stands there and says no, much to the frustration of the QPR bench and the QPR crowd. It's been given as a throw to Rangers now. Stanislas. Just see it's just starting to heat up a little bit there as well. I mean, Dykes for me was being held onto there by Cahill and then fell, so that to me should have been a free kick to really. After all that pushing and shoving, it has actually been given as a throw to Bournemouth. Moura's throw to the edge of the area. Stick with Solanke, clear back towards the halfway line. Forward there by Chris Meffam. Comes off Bill Billing and out for a throw to QPR down the right-hand side. Osman Kaikai, we're into injury time at the end of this first half. 1 minute has been shown by our fourth official, Mr. Robinson. The ball now out for a throw after a header from Jefferson Lerma. Seeing free kick that led to the goal. I mean, it was that challenge that resulted in Sam Field getting a booking. Once that ball was whipped in, he did the rest as Kaikai now runs into Zamora. Players battling against each other there on that far side as it's now kept in play. A real fight for the ball here with both sides appealing for this, but in the end it's been given as a throw to Bournemouth. Johansson is not happy with this at all. So that was a clear throw to QPR. Makes little difference now. We've had the full minute of injury time, so you'd imagine as soon as Zamora throws this out, Keith Stroud should be thinking about ending this first half. Zamora taking a very long time with this throw, but he finally gets it into play, and Keith Stroud does end the first half with QPR trailing Bournemouth by a goal to nil. Dominic Solanke getting the only goal of the half on 41 minutes, and I'm back in 15 minutes in the second half of the Tube Studio commentary. Time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stansted. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in run. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in front. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in front. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in front. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Half-time at the Guillaume Prince Foundation Stadium, where Bournemouth lead QPR by a goal to nil. The goal scored on 41 minutes by Dominic Solanke after a free kick was whipped in from the left-hand side by Junior Stanislas. That was after Solanke had missed a great chance just a few minutes earlier. Ball put on a plate for him by Phil Billing, and he headed over from just 4 yards. The goal was actually a harder effort, but he was able to put Bournemouth in front. That was after a better start for QPR in the first 15 minutes, but the home side just fell away. Bournemouth certainly ending the half stronger, and they lead by a goal to nil. Well, it's a very warm welcome back to a second half independent off-tube studio commentary from early evening kickoff in the Championship as QPR trail Bournemouth by a goal to nil. Goal from Dominic Solanke as the difference between the two sides as we get underway in this second half. Solanke giving Bournemouth the lead on 41 minutes. And that was after a better start for QPR. Certainly Mark Warburton's side made the better impression in the first 50 minutes, but they're straight away on the front for here with a run down the right-hand side from Kai as cross just gets away from Dykes. Potentially a second chance there for Johansson, but the ball gets away from him, and it's cleared. Long clearance here from Zamora up towards the halfway line, where Jimmy Dunn just controls the ball for QPR. But we need to see a better start from QPR in this second half. They ended the first half very, very tamely. In the last 50 minutes, Bournemouth pretty much in the ascendancy in terms of possession, in terms of chances created. But QPR trying to get up forward here again now with Kai down the right-hand side. He finds Johansson, and then Johansson puts the ball into the box. It's a good cross, but back inside his 6-yard box there is Chris Meffam, and he heads that one away for a corner kick. But less than a minute on the clock, and Rangers have had two runs into the box already down this right-hand side. And now they've won themselves a corner kick as well, so it's the perfect start from the home side. We've made one change as well. I'll go through the 11s in just a moment. We'll see this corner kick from Stefan Johansson first, then Johansson's ball in towards the back post. Oh, it eludes everyone and it just drops away from Lyndon Dykes. It's whipped back into the penalty area, headed up in the air by Rob Dickey, but that is straight into the arms of Mark Travers. So it is Timothy Dieng in goal for QPR, a back three of Rob Dickey, Jimmy Dunn and Johan Barbe. The four across the middle are Osman Kai, Sam Field, Stefan Johansson and Lee Wallace, with Chris Willock, Andre Dezel, who comes on for Ilias Sher, and Lyndon Dykes as the three up front. No changes for Bournemouth. Mark Travers in goal, a back four of Jack Stacey, Gary Cahill, Chris Meffam and Jordan Zamora. The two holder midfielders are Jefferson Lerma and Lewis Cook. The three ahead of them, Ryan Christie, Phil Billing and Junior Stanislas, with goal scorer Dominic Solanke as the lone man up front. A long ball down the left-hand side now for Wallace to chase. That's only been partially cleared. Dykes still with a chance, but he dwelt on it at the edge of the area. And the ball is now cleared up towards the halfway line, where Solanke doing his best to hold it up. Really well to hold it up as well there, Dominic Solanke. And he was actually fouled. I think referee Keith Stroud wanted to give Bournemouth the advantage, but eventually just had to stop play because there was no advantage. The visitors just trying to slow things down now. After a bright start from QPR, it needs to be. They need to get the crowd back on side. The last 15 minutes from Rangers in the first half pretty much just allowed the game to pass them by. It's not normally something you associate with this Mark Warburton side, who have had a good start to the season. Now they've got some defending to do as Bournemouth are on the attack down the left. A ball in from Billing. It's an overlapping run there from Zamora. Just working in too small a space there, really. The through ball from Billing was played pretty much right onto the line. And Timothy Dieng able to marshal everything, make sure that that ball is in his hands as it was fed through to him. Now a bit of a collision on the halfway line. I didn't actually see the beginning of that. We were still getting a replay of that Bournemouth chance just a moment ago. It's played towards the edge of the area, quickly claimed by Dieng, quickly bowls it out towards Kai, and now Fields ball towards Willock, towards Wallace now. Barbe under pressure, having to go square towards Jimmy Dunn. He's under pressure there from Solanke's QPR in the top 4 sides of goals scored in the second half of games this season. They won't be too worried about that half-time deficit, and they're on the attack here now as Johansson's ball into Dykes is in an offside position there, Lyndon Dykes. It's a shame, as it was a promising build-up there from QPR, and Johansson saw his number 9 just ahead of him. But looking at that replay, absolutely the right decision. There wasn't much in it, but Dykes was just offside when that pass was played. So looking at that substitution with Dazelle coming on to replace Elias Scher. So it's 10 starts for QPR this season. Hasn't scored a goal as yet. It's in attacking positions. That's what they'll be hoping for in the second half. Scher certainly saw plenty of the ball in the first half, but really too much end product from him. Like to see a bit more of Johansson in this second half as well. Player that Scott Parker, of course, knows very well. He's got a goal kick now to Bournemouth on clearance from Mark Travers. Good strong header there from Jimmy Dunn. It just bounces away from Dykes, but he's closing this one down as Zamora tries to get a clearance in. Looks as though Zamora got the last touch on that as well. It's out for a throw to QPR, but not before we get another injury stoppage here. It's a real problem here for Junior Stanislas now down on the ground, holding his left shoulder. I just wonder if that was from the collision we saw a moment ago. But he's being checked over here, and the way he's holding onto that shoulder, is this a dislocation? He's jumping for the ball here. This is the collision he had just a moment ago there as was Dickey jumping into the back. It was Jimmy Dunn, I should say, sorry, jumping into the back of him, and he just caught Stanislas slightly awkwardly. It was almost like he wasn't expecting the collision, and he landed very awkwardly on his left shoulder. Wait and see whether or not he can play on. Just to remind you, the bench for Bournemouth, it's Brady, Anthony, Marcondes, Kilkenny, Pearson, Lowe, and goalkeeper Nyland. So options: Brady is one option, Marcondes is another option if it turns out that Stanislas can't play on. So they're checking that left shoulder. I don't think it's a full-on dislocation, because if it was, they would just say he's got to go off now. But the fact that they're sort of putting pressure on that shoulder, trying to see whether or not he can play on, suggests to me that he should be okay. Although he's getting up very gingerly here, is Junior Stanislas. Just to go off the field momentarily. That wasn't helpful there. Just having a chuckle because Jimmy Dunn wanted to pat Stanislas on the back, sort of say, sorry mate kind of thing, but he sort of missed the back and actually ended up tapping him on the shoulder that he's just injured. So a bit of a stare there from Junior Stanislas as well towards Jimmy Dunn, but it's out for a throw to QPR. It wasn't put out of play because of the injury, so QPR don't have to give the ball back. It's just a case of them playing on from this throw down the right-hand side. And it's taken here by Osman Kai back towards the halfway line. Still no sign of Junior Stanislas, but he is still on the touchline, so he should be able to come back on. He is back on the field now. Bournemouth back up to full strength. It's QPR in possession around about the halfway line. 52 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. It's Queen's Park Rangers 0, Bournemouth 1. Solanke with the goal on 41 minutes as Rangers lose the ball in midfield. Is with Lewis Cook now, finds Ryan Christie, and he's off down the left-hand side here. Christie trying to find some players to try and get on the overlap. Nobody's arriving really, having to go back towards Cook. And then he switches the play over, looking for Zamora. That's a very poor ball, though, from Lewis Cook. Diagonal ball, which is gone behind his teammate and away for a throw to QPR. Certainly, Bournemouth haven't been playing at their very best this season. I say that their form going into this game hasn't been particularly good. And QPR, very well rested, but arguably almost too well rested, you could say, because it's been so long since they've had a game. It's potentially a couple of the players just needing a bit more time to get into their stride. It's with QPR now, Johan Barbe to be specific. Good ball over the top there to pick out the run of Johansson. He tries to thread that through to Dykes. It's cleared away, but only as far as Johansson. He's about 40 yards out. It goes over to Rob Dickey on the right-hand side. Now with Andre Dezelle. Side to Johan Barbe. It's on the left-hand side here with Wallace, trying to play a quick 1-2 with Barbe. That one's cleared. And back out for a throw to QPR. Barbe with the throw out, gets it back towards Jimmy Dunn. And almost a similar pattern to the early stages of the first half, with QPR seeing a lot more of the ball but not really able to do too much with it. And that's exactly the same case that we're getting here now in the second half. Although this is a ball that potentially might be one for Joe Willock to chase, but Chris Meffam gets there first. Decent clearance from Meffam as well. It's a fair amount of distance on. He probably would have liked it to have stayed in play. So it is out for a throw to Rangers down the left-hand side. Wallace now with the ball. To try and get that closer to the penalty area. Couldn't see any options though. Goes straight back towards the halfway line now. Played over towards the right-hand side on the overlap space. If Kai puts a decent ball in as well, but that's good covering inside the penalty area there from Jefferson Lerma. Back on the right-hand side, and now Dezelle gets it to Kai, and then it's Johansson's left-footed cross into the penalty area, headed away, and now Jack Stacey gets the ball away, and a chance here for Bournemouth to go on the counter. Stacey plays an early ball down the right-hand side. It was the right side there, but it's over here. There's no chance of Solanke getting there ahead of the goalkeeper, Dieng. Gets it out towards Dezelle, who's playing in a slightly deeper role to what Cher was when he was on the field. Just wonder if QPR have altered their formation. That doesn't seem as though they have. They've still got their solid back three of Dickey, Dunn and Barbe. Here is Kai still very much on that right-hand side. Looking now towards Dickey as the visitors doing what they can to flood midfield, making it difficult for QPR. Barbe now trying a long ball, and it's a great long ball as well, controlled by Kai on the run. His cross is stopped by the back of Jordan Zamora, and a combination of Zamora and Stanislas now trying to play Bournemouth out from the back. Risking it a bit slight now. Lewis Cook under pressure there from Johansson. Back to Stanislas, who then clears it down the left-hand side. And Solanke doing his best to keep it in play, but that's really good play there from Jimmy Dunn to keep the ball in possession for QPR. There's certainly an energy, a good energy level about QPR in this second half. But again, no end product so far. Still no real saves for Dieng to have to make. It's now with Wallace on the left-hand side, and he was taken out just as he made that pass. It is going to be a free kick now. There's a bit of a what-me look about Jack Stacey there. He can't believe it. In fact, it's Ryan Christie, I beg your pardon. And I must admit, when I saw this first time, I mean, Wallace, he's caught by Christie. The two Scottish players have had a couple of clashes already this evening, but that is a little bit late from Christie. It's borderline cynical, really. Third booking of the season here for Bournemouth's number 10. Kick now to QPR. It's a long way from goal, and Bournemouth have set up an offside line which is outside their own penalty area. It doesn't stop. Dykes deliberately stood in an offside position just to try and distract the defence. The cross is far too close to Mark Travers though, and an easy save for the Bournemouth keeper. Moves it out quickly towards the right-hand side here for Jack Stacey. Back in numbers. Bournemouth are trying to play out from the back, trying to inject a bit of pace into their possession, but it's just not able to do it for the time being. Keen to try and get back into this game. They would have been frustrated with the way that goal was conceded towards the end of the first half, as Zamora now finds Stanislas down the left-hand side over the halfway line, as Billing claims that he was being held onto there by Andre Dezelle, and referee Keith Stroud agrees, and the QPR sub is going to get himself a yellow card here as well. Didn't see the incident too clearly when it was live. That's his 5th booking of the season as well. Dezelle, busy midfield player, so you'd expect him to be in amongst the cards more than one occasion. Yeah, it's a bit cynical. I mean, Billing could just about get away from that, but he doesn't need to. If Dazell's going to hold on to his shirt like that, it's going to encourage the man to try and go down and potentially get a yellow card, as well as Bournemouth are getting ready to make their first change. Looks like it's Jaden Anthony getting ready to come on. See him in just a moment. Short free kick here, and it's ball played into Solanke on the run. Solanke fires that one towards goal, and it's stopped at the near post, but it looks as though the goalkeeper, Dieng, has been caught by his own teammate there. Have to wait and see if everything's okay with the QPR keeper, but that was a really good free kick, taken quickly between... it was taken quickly between Christie and Stanislas. Stanislas then feeds the ball into Solanke, and as he fires that one towards goal, it's stopped by a combination of goalkeeper Dieng, and it looks like it's Barbe that slid into his own keeper as well. Dieng just needed a moment to pick himself up, but we are going to see that change for Bournemouth now. They're not going to take a chance here with that injury scare they had with Junior Stanislas a moment ago, so he is off, and Jaden Anthony is on to replace him. Nancy, 22-year-old. He's made quite a few appearances for Bournemouth already this season, scored 6 goals. This is a good chance for him now up against a QPR side who are trying to chase the game. This could potentially leave some openings here for Anthony. So straight on the field here as his side are in the ascendancy now, having had that free kick. Now they've won themselves a corner. Everything looks okay with the thing. It's actually gone out for a throw after that clearance. Didn't quite make it over the goal line. Just out for a throw taken by Zamora. Played at the edge of the area. Zamora then wins it back, and it's his first touch for Anthony, playing it back towards Lerma. Anthony breaking into the box. Always overplayed that. Maybe just a little bit rusty coming off the bench. But it was a great chance for Jaden Anthony. He had time inside the penalty area, and then just ended the ball away. 6 goals, 4 assists, 31 chances created. And he's had a very, very good season. One of the club leaders in terms of chances created and assists. Certainly, this is a good chance in now, France. He's got a good half an hour to try and make an impression on this game. So potentially, that's a positive start from QPR. Just starting to fizzle out a little bit now. The last few minutes has been Bournemouth trying to get forward. And here they go now with Jack Stacey down the right-hand side. He carries on his run after a quick pass from Christie. It's Stacey's ball in, charged down by Barbe, and it deflects back off Jack Stacey, so it is out for a goal kick in the end. Scott Parker looks quite relaxed. Normally he does look quite composed on the touchline, Scott Parker. He knows big responsibility taking over at Bournemouth. It's a club that's more than tasted. It's been very much in the thick of it in the Premier League for a number of seasons. To get back there, of course, but it's such a hard division to call the Championship. It really is very hard to predict how each game week is going to go. That's why I think that QPR must be feeling very confident when you consider that they've missed all these games recently, but they're still very much in the playoff picture. But of course, having those games in hand is one thing. You actually have to get the points on the board as well. And potentially get very frustrated if the game was to finish with a Bournemouth win. But here come QPR now trying to get forward, although Kaikai's robbed of the ball, and now it could be Bournemouth on the counter as Zamora brings it forward. He finds Billing, and there's space down the right-hand side here now for Ryan Christie. Gets it onto his left foot, strikes it, charged down by Wallace. Now a chance here for QPR to break out as Willock plays that ball into Wallace. Just bounces away from Lee Wallace, though. Bournemouth now back in possession. Back down the right-hand side here. Stacey gets the ball in towards Christie. And Christie now switching play from right to left to pick out Anthony. Jaden Anthony into the box. Onto his left foot. Fires that ball towards the near post. It's not a good ball. And there's a couple of frustrated Bournemouth players at the edge of the 6-yard box. Dominic Solanke included, saying, well, why are you shooting from that sort of angle at the near post when you've got teammates to try and play it square to? Was the wrong option on that occasion from Anthony. But it may have been the wrong option here from Dieng as well, because he throws it out just a couple of yards in front of him. There were still 4 Bournemouth players at the edge of the Rangers penalty area. Dieng eventually forced to clear it long, but it's straight to Jefferson Lerma, and here come Bournemouth again down the right-hand side. It's Stacey's ball in, it just gets away from Solanke, and Anthony misses from 3 yards out. Well, it was a very fast ball that flashed across him. It wasn't like it was sat up. It's not like it was on a plate for him, but he's got to do better there. I'll see from this replay whether or not I can find any reason why Anthony should have missed this. It just surprised him a little bit. It bounced up in front of him. But the bottom line is this, that it's a ball in front of goal. He's 3 yards out when he makes contact with it, and he slices it wide. He's got to do better there, Anthony. He's on the field now to try and wrap this game up for Bournemouth. And that goal, that would have made it 2-0, of course. Could have put Bournemouth in a very strong position, but it's not to be. On clearance now from Dieng. Might get through to Willock. Anthony plays it forward, though, for Solanke. And then Solanke carries on his run, gets the ball back, and it's an early strike from Solanke, trying to surprise the goalkeeper near post. Good save there from Dieng. And then a clearance from Barbe up to the halfway line. That's well taken down by Dykes, trying to play it into Johansson. But Johansson beaten to the ball there by Zamora. And then Zamura's pass goes out of play. It will be a throw to QPR. But that's good play from Timothy Dieng. He came out to try and narrow the angle, and it paid off because it was a lovely bit of combination play there between Billing and Solanke to get Solanke through one-on-one. So he tried to surprise the keeper by shooting early to get at that near post. But Dieng was wise to that, able to make the save. And it is Bournemouth now once again in possession down the left-hand side. QPR just can't make it stick in midfield right now. And Anthony, Jaden Anthony now back towards the halfway line for captain Gary Cahill. Anthony again under pressure from Sam Field. Now to Zamora. Anthony towards the edge of the area. Good chance there for Solanke. Loses the ball, then runs straight into Rob Dickey and brings him down. So that will be a free kick to QPR. It's a good ball to find Solanke. But I think potentially because there was a defender coming back with him, he just rushed him into a shot. The fact that Dunn was so close meant that Solanke felt compelled to take that shot on quite early. Meant that the save for Dieng was made just that little bit easier. But QPR win the ball back in midfield now with Dazelle. Finds Wallace, and Wallace's ball over the top gets through to Johansson. Johansson volleys that from a tight angle. I mean, he missed the goal by a good few yards anyway, but on top of that, there was a push there from Stefan Johansson on Gary Cahill. Some of the very frustrated look on his face, but I'm not so sure that there's any argument there for my money. I think that it seems like a pretty clear decision there for the referee, Keith Stroud. In any case, as soon as the ball got through to Johansson, his strike was a long, long way away from goal. Stroud just checking there was a player complaining about an injury, but we're all right to play on. So it is now Bournemouth in possession at the edge of their own penalty area. 66 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. QPR 0, Bournemouth 1. Just over an hour away from our late Premier League kickoff today. Available on this service. It will be Newcastle United against Manchester United an 8 p.m. kickoff. And for the time being, at least, we have still got 4 Premier League games to play tomorrow. And getting back to the action here, it's Bournemouth on the attack with Billing breaking into the penalty area. And that ball has gone out for a corner. There was good work, good attempt there from Jimmy Dunn to try and keep the ball in play, stop it going out for a corner. But ball just goes out, and it's now Jaden Anthony standing over it on the left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger. The usual candidates are congregating inside the penalty area. The focus should be on Dominic Solanke, of course. He gave Bournemouth the lead with a header in the first half, albeit from a free kick rather than a corner. Anthony now waiting to take this. It's going to be played towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Cahill heads it back, but he's well marked there by Barbe, who heads it out towards the edge of the area. This is claimed, though, by Lewis Cook. His cross into the box reaches Anthony on the left-hand side. Anthony with a bit of a heavy touch, but he does well to recover the ball there when it looked as though he might be dispossessed of it by Dazelle. Played inside now to Jordan Zamora, and then Zamora stands across up to the back post, and Solanke was already ready, was diving in to try and volley that towards goal. Just beaten to it though by Yohan Barbe. He heads it out, and it's going to be a corner kick to Bournemouth from the right-hand side this time. Good work there from Jordan Zamora to put that ball in. Barbet in the right place at the right time to snuff out that chance. It's going to be a corner kick to Bournemouth now, with left-footed Christie standing over this one, but he plays it short to the edge of the area now for Lewis Cook, and then Cook fires it into the danger area. It's charged down, the loose ball gets back to Christie. Christie tries a left-footed cross, headed away towards the edge of the area, picked up now by Solanke, and Solanke tries to thread that ball through. He tried the nutmeg, it didn't quite work, and Rob Dickey was wise to that. Now it's with Johansson, but his ball out towards Lee Wallace is too short, and Christie now has it back for Bournemouth, over towards the right-hand side. Stacey into Solanke inside the penalty area. Back to Jack Stacey. Now it's with Ryan Christie. This spell of Bournemouth dominance is getting longer and longer now in the second half. Rangers really struggling to get the ball away from their own half, as Billing just drops a little bit deeper. Zamora now on the left-hand side. Finds Jayden Anthony. Anthony drops the shoulder, trying to get away from Kai. And plays it square towards Stacey. Stacey now finds an overlapping run there down the right-hand side from Christie. Billing has gone onto that right-hand side as well. Christie's now carried on his run into the box, but he's well marshalled there by Jimmy Dunn. Just about gets the ball away from Christie and stops it from going out for a corner kick. The ball now played back into the Bournemouth half, but that's easy work there for Gary Cahill and for Chris Meffam. Getting it back now towards the goalkeeper, Mark Travers, who really hasn't had very much work to do in this game, let alone in this second half. The ball played up in the air. I think the referee has spotted a free kick. There's going to be another change though for QPR. It's going to be Osman Kaikai to go off, to be replaced by Albert Adoma. So Albert Adoma is coming on for QPR. They have got Andre Gray ready to come on as well. So Adoma is on. The other change is going to be Lee Wallace to go off to be replaced by Andre Gray. So he's not, you could say he's not messing around now, Mark Warburton. He really is bringing on the big guns here. Just ripping up the tactics somewhat. He's got to give his side some time to try and get back into this game. We're at 17 minutes now, exactly 20 to go. So now or never really for QPR if they want to, well, they want to avoid defeat first of all, but they want to try and get 3 points as well. In a game where they've been tested, but not had too much work for their goalkeeper. It's just been a well-managed game from Bournemouth, getting the right energy levels in towards the end of the first half, and now into the second as Andre Dazelle can't keep it in play. Towards Andre Gray, he's immediately turning round to his teammates to say, "Look, get that ball even further forward." The idea is that QPR have just been sat back in their own half, not because they've chosen to. It's just been one of those situations where Bournemouth had so much of the ball that QPR have struggled to get the ball away from their own half. So at some point they're going to have to try and change that, and it's a foul throw here as well. It looks like the referee has given that as a foul throw in favour of QPR. Though Zamora just lifted his, I think he had his feet off there as he tried to get a bit more distance on the throw. In any case, QPR's first thought was to go back with it, just to try and build an attack, but it's a great ball from Barbet then to pick out Adoma, and Adoma's crossed into the box is quickly flicked away by Jack Stacey. Out for a corner kick to QPR, so straight away that direct approach proving to be successful. Need to try and just inject a little bit more life into this game, do the home side, and they've got this corner kick now. Wants to whip it in. It's going to be an out-swinging corner off the left foot of Johansson towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed up in the air by Rob Dickey. A second chance here now at the edge of the area, trying to keep the ball in play is Barbet. Goes back towards Dazelle. Dazelle's ball into the box. Oh, it could be an own goal. It's a header from Cahill heading back towards his own goal. Travers deals with it in the end, and then Cahill furiously turns to berate his own teammates there that they need to do better, because there were a couple of chances there. Ooh, I tell you what, Dickey was appealing a handball there against Jack Stacey. I don't think Jack Stacey touched it with his arm, but I tell you what, it wasn't far away. He certainly waved at it with his arm. I don't think he actually got a touch on it. Went straight through onto the head of Rob Dickey, but it was very risky play there from the Bournemouth right back. QPR trying again now down the right here with Albert Adoma up against Zamora, getting away from Zamora, putting a low cross into the box. It's played away by Cahill. Does he manage to avoid it going out for a corner? Zamora chases this one down. It has gone out for a corner kick though, so a good chance here for QPR from the set piece. So Johansson standing over it, and as it is from the right-hand side this time, it's going to be an in-swinger, the Norwegian. To see where his teammates are inside the 6-yard box. Here comes the ball in from Johansson. Good strong header away though by Chris Meffam. Barbe now trying to shepherd that ball out for another throw to QPR. He doesn't manage it, but Jaden Anthony gives it away straight back to Barbe in any case. Played back towards the halfway line. Adoma was there. His pass is immediately stopped though by Lewis Cook, and then he feeds a ball down the left-hand side here for Solanke. Solanke's into the box. It's a tight angle. Solanke gets a shot away, but it's well charged down. And now QPR trying to get the ball away from their own penalty area with Adoma, who'd stayed a little bit deeper for the corner. He was actually tracking Solanke all the way to the penalty area. So this is starting to get a little bit more end-to-end now, as QPR are bound to be committing more men forward. The changes they've made are attacking changes as well. So they now chase the game with just over 15 minutes to play. On the right-hand side now with Albert Adoma. Ball forward for Gray. Gray takes it down, leaves it for Johansson. And Johansson down the left. Oh, it's not a good ball from Johansson. Not so sure you can blame the QPR man there for not getting on the end of that one. Seems to me as though the pass to Dykes just a little bit over here, but this was a really good ball from, a really good pass there from Lewis Cook to play in Solanke. The problem was that Solanke got that far ahead that he literally had no way of passing to a teammate. There were two teammates arriving in the box. Anthony was just over on the far side. Benning was just arriving at the edge of the area, but from where Solanke had ended up, just couldn't get a pass to either of them, and the strike was in the end charged down. But Bournemouth now back in possession here with Jaden Anthony. Over towards the right-hand side. Here is Ryan Christie now. Just stops and plays that back towards Lewis Cook. Christie again on the right-hand side, looks up, thought about getting it into the box, plays it to Solanke, and then back to Christie, hits it towards goal. It's a good save from Dieng, punches it away. Zamora trying to win that ball back for Bournemouth, but in the end, I think that it has come off him last. It's going to be a throw to QPR. He was there trying to get that ball back for the home side. In fact, it has gone out for a throw to Bournemouth. There's still a chance to try and carry on this attack here now with this throw from Zamora. Sit into Billing. And Billing shoves away against, pushes away there against Rob Dickey. Easy decision there for the referee to give a free kick, and Billing hasn't let that one go. He's arguing there with Keith Stroud. Never a good idea. He's known for his patience, Keith Stroud, and that's a yellow card for Phil Billing. He was a bit unhappy because he pushed over Gazelle, and then the referee gave a free kick, which I think the referee was entitled to give there. It looked as though there could have been a push there. Billing still hasn't given up yet, talking to a referee, Keith Stroud. It's his 8th booking of the season. So somebody who's never afraid to give an opinion to the referee. So here come QPR now down the left-hand side, but Bournemouth just starting to make things a little bit tighter in field. Just as I say that, those Lerma did have missed the ball, but luckily for him, didn't quite get through to Andre Gray. And here come the Cherries now down the right-hand side with Christie. Plays it into Billing at the edge of the area. Billing back towards Christie. The ball deflects out. It's out for a throw. Chance here now for Bournemouth just to slow things down, get a few players further forward, and try to play out these last 13 minutes that we've got here at the Keinan Prince Foundation Stadium. Go on now from Stacey to Christie, over towards the and now it's with Cahill, who strides forward here. Gary Cahill into the QPR half, finds Jaden Anthony. Sitting now inside towards Solanke. That's not a good ball though, easily cleared by Albert Adoma, and he finds Andre Gray down the right-hand side. Gray in a sort of slightly more winger's role. Really, I'm not sure that's an ideal position for Andre Gray to be in. His ball was easily dealt with, and in the frustration, He crashes into Dominic Solanke as well to give a free kick to Bournemouth. His next 6 fixtures: home to Cardiff, home to Peterborough, away to Yeovil in the Cup, and they're away to Luton, at home to Hull, and then away to Barnsley. And looking at those fixtures, I don't think there's any there that Scott Parker would say his side. There's no walkovers in the Championship, of course, but all those games are very winnable. And with Fulham still setting the pace, 2 points clear of Bournemouth at the start of play this evening. Things stay as they are. Bournemouth will go top of the table, although Fulham will have the game in hand. Let's not speak too soon, because long ball played into the Bournemouth penalty area. Dykes is going to get there first. No, the goalkeeper just beats him to it. Bit of contact there as well, but I'm sure that there's no issue there in terms of a penalty, because the goalkeeper, Travers, does get there first. It's now with Ryan Christie for Bournemouth, trying to get the ball back over towards the left for Zamora. Picked off here by Albert Adoma, and he's off down the right-hand side. Adoma's ball into the box. It's too close to Mark Travers, and it's a comfortable save for the Bournemouth keeper. Seeing a replay of that incident a moment ago, no, Travers definitely gets there first and beats Dykes to the ball, although there was a bit of contact, but certainly the goalkeeper got to the ball first. Jack Stacey down the right-hand side. 10 minutes to go here, and the free kick now in favour of Bournemouth. Real frustration there on the face of Sam Field there, who's a little bit unhappy with that decision. I'm not sure there's anything you can say about that. It was a bit of a clumsy challenge on Ryan Christie. This will suit Bournemouth, slowing the game down. Free kicks on the halfway line. It's exactly what the visitors want here, just to try and frustrate QPR. Just to say that, Christie gives the ball away. It's out for a throw to QPR. Towards Johan Barbe. Finding Dykes, who's dropped a bit deeper this time. He sends a high ball in, looking for Andre Gray, who heads this on for Albert Adoma. Adoma at the edge of the area, twisting and turning away from Zamora, gets the ball in. Oh, it drops to Dykes. Dykes strikes it. It's charged down. Loose ball is with Andre Dezelle over towards the left-hand side. Cross coming in. Oh, it's just over the head of Adoma. Still kept in play, though. It's put back into the box. No, in fact, it had gone out of play. The referee now stops play after that original cross had just crossed the line. This was half a chance for Andre Gray, as that ball was whipped in. Just got away from him. Then it was Adoma who saved it on the right-hand side. But looking at that replay, it does look to me as though the hold of the ball was over the line. So now just trying to get some instructions to his players as to how to manage these next 9 minutes or so. And a good effort from QPR at times in this game. I think the problem is that there's been too many periods in the 81 minutes we've seen so far where QPR have just not had enough of the ball and haven't really been at the sort of pace they need to be at to try and get back into the game. Bournemouth are preparing another substitution for who it was that was getting ready to come on, but here come Rangers now down the right-hand side with Adoma's ball cleared away, and now it's Billing trying to bring it out for Bournemouth. Harry there though in midfield, loses the ball, and that's a great challenge as well. And now breaking into the box was Willock. He gets stopped at the edge of the area. It's out for a throw. He felt as though he might have been impeded as he was going after the ball there. The referee is not interested in that. It's just going to be a throw to Bournemouth, throw to QPR, I should say, level with the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. But are we going to see the substitution now? We'll see again. Challenge there coming in from Barbe, and then as the ball was played forward, Willock breaking into the penalty area. I'm not really sure what Willock was expecting. There's never going to get a penalty for that. But change now confirmed for Bournemouth. Ryan Christie is off, and Jamal Lowe is on in his place. Lowe is on the field now for the last 8 minutes or so. It's a throw on to QPR down the left-hand side. Ball played in towards Dykes, deflects towards the edge of the area. Sliding in there was Willock, but the ball is now cleared back towards the halfway line. Dieng is a long way out from his goal. But he puts the ball back into the Bournemouth half, down the left, headed on for Lyndon Dykes. Easily cleared though by Chris Metham. Solanke fighting to get that ball back. It has gone out of play for a throw to QPR, throw to Bournemouth, I should say. Mark Warburton, again, just trying to get some instructions out to his players. Also just reporting to the fourth official there's a bit of time being wasted there by the visitors. Every second counts, of course. Players know on the field that the amount of time they waste with taking throws and goal kicks and the like, you're never going to get all that time back at the end of the game. You get a bit of it back, but it's never going to be the full quota. As a bit of a blow to the face there for Lewis Cook, as Willock was trying to clear that. Cook's flush in the face, but he's okay to play on. And it's QPR now playing out from the back down the right-hand side. Rob Dickey over the halfway line. The ball for Andre Gray. He deliberately leaves it though for Lyndon Dykes. Now it's Willock at the edge of the area. Ball coming in across, deflect into the path of Jayden Anthony. Anthony trying to get away from his own box, runs straight into trouble though. QPR have the ball back now with Dickey trying to strike from around 30 yards. His effort is charged down. Billing with the header away, pumped back into the penalty area. It's Cahill there. That's a little bit unnecessary there from Lyndon Dykes. Just pushing Gary Cahill into the advertising boards, but the experienced former Chelsea man I have to say, takes it very calmly. The Bournemouth players were a lot more unhappy with this than the man who was actually fouled himself. But the referee just trying to defuse the situation. I mean, it's quite interesting that he's having more of a go at Cahill than he is at Dykes. I mean, Cahill shepherds this out for a goal kick, and Dykes shoves him into the ground, into those advertising boards. And of course, was met by huge approval by the QPR fans behind the goal. Just because Dykes is showing a bit of fight, but also he's doing it to a former long-serving Chelsea player, which of course will always be applauded at this stadium. But with 5 minutes to go, QPR, it's now or never for them really. Still not done enough to trouble the goalkeeper Travers consistently. And here come Bournemouth now with Anthony at the edge of the area. His pass to Solanke, cleared away back towards Zamora, around about the halfway line. Zamora back to Solanke on the left-hand side, towards the Rangers penalty area. Playing it in towards Anthony. Nice little one-touch stuff there, and then Solanke followed that ball into the box. It's cleared back into midfield, though. Johansson fighting to try and get QPR back into possession. And in the end, he kicks out there a little bit at Jefferson Lerma. I don't think he's kicked out as much as Lerma's reacting. Lerma's rolling around like he's had his leg broken. I'm not quite sure that's true, but certainly Johansson feels as though there was nothing in that. Thought that initially there might have been a bit of a foul on Lerma at the very start of the tussle. And then as Lerma got up, Johansson just with a bit of a knee to the thigh there, a little bit. I think that was quite deliberate, really, looking at the way that Johansson's done that. Certainly looked as though there might have been a little bit of intent there from the QPR number 7. I think in the end he's got away without a yellow card, which really could have been a straightforward booking, really, for the referee Keith Stroud. Perhaps seen it from the angle that we'd seen. We dig now to Bournemouth, taken by Travers. On ball from Travers towards the edge of the area. Oh, it finds Solanke, takes it down. Couldn't get a shot away, though. Billing was chasing that ball into the box before it's now played away. And the visitors trying to win the ball back here as Andre Dazelle brings it out for QPR. Plays it back to Rob Dickey. Dazelle over towards the left-hand side now. Here straight away on Sam Field. Back in towards Rob Dickey, and the visitors pressing as high up the field as they can now as well. Bournemouth doing what they can just to make it difficult for QPR. It's Dickey down the right here now, heading towards the Bournemouth penalty area. Plays it inside now to Adoma. Back to Rob Dickey. Adoma carried on his run. That's flicked on into the path of Adoma. That's really good play there from Johansson to find Adoma. He heads that ball into the box looking for Andre Gray. It's cleared back into midfield. And Solanke just colliding there with Jimmy Dunn. I think that's gone out for a throw to QPR in the end. There's still a chance here now for the home side to try and get this ball back into the box. But Adoma fighting at the edge of the area to keep that ball alive, headed it onto Andre Gray. That was good work from Jordan Zamora to head it away. Here is Adoma again now. He's been busy since he's come on the field. Cross is cleared away. Now a chance here for Bournemouth down the right-hand side. Here is Phil Billing. That's a poor ball though from Billing. Nowhere near a teammate as he tried to get that ball into the box. Back now with Queen's Park Rangers. 2 minutes plus injury time to play here to the Kian Prince Foundation Stadium. Certainly, it's been an interesting game. Not been too many clear-cut chances, certainly not for the home side. But it has been a fascinating game, just seeing how QPR, with all their possession, haven't really been able to create chances. Bournemouth, with their few chances in the first half, able to take a lead. Here come Rangers now. They won the attack. Johansson, was he brought down inside the penalty area? Well, there's certainly an argument for it. The referee, Keith Stroud, not interested. We play on. Ball pumped into the box. It's cleared towards the edge of the area. Barbe robbed of the ball by Dominic Solanke. Now a chance here for Bournemouth to go on the counter, though Solanke is very isolated there. He's got no one to pass to. Drops the shoulder, but also runs straight into Barbe. And QPR have the ball back. I'd love to see that incident again. It looked to me as though it might have been a foul there on Johansson, just as he was getting ready to control the ball in the box. As Doma on the right-hand side gets that ball in towards the edge of the area. Here is Johansson. He tees it up for Field. Field over towards the left-hand edge of the box. It's Chris Willock's ball in, taken down inside the penalty area. Oh, he just couldn't quite get his shot away there. Chris Willock, and the ball is now cleared all the way back towards the edge of the QPR penalty area. Ball still hasn't gone out of place. We've still not seen the replay of the Stefan Johansson penalty shout. In the meantime, it is QPR in possession, although it's a long way from Bournemouth's goal at this moment in time. On the right-hand side with Rob Dickey, finds Albert Adoma. Adoma does well initially to get away from Jayden Anthony, and then Adoma's ball into the box. There's no offside. It's played across the 6-yard box. A strike coming in. It's charged down, and a second effort perhaps there for Field, but he can't get a shot away. He's got to lay it off now towards Barbe. Back to Sam Field. Left-footed ball into the box. Strong header away there by Meffam. Ball back on the left-hand side again with Field. Low cross this time. Gets a big deflection. Doesn't matter because there was an offside in the build-up to that anyway. And it is going to be a free kick now to the visitors. Johansson's still furious about the penalty that he didn't get a moment ago. Let's just see. We're not going to see that incident now. We're going to see the effort there from Willock, charged down by Jefferson Lerma. Great play there from Lerma to stop that strike going towards goal. He's Meffam away with the header. I'd like to see that incident again, where Johansson was was he tripped? There seemed to be a little bit of contact. This is the earlier incident where Dykes lifted the ball in for Johansson as he's about to shoot. Now his shooting right foot hits the back of Jayden Anthony, who's coming back into the penalty area. Is that a foul from Anthony? Well, you've seen them given. Where a player comes in from the side. And that sort of contact can sometimes be classed as a foul. I don't think the referee... Just wonder if the referee had a chance to see the replays that we've just seen, whether he would have felt as though that was a foul. Certainly didn't stop Johansson berating the referee as it was happening, and then a couple of minutes later as well. Meanwhile, there has been another change. Lewis Cook is off. Ben Pearson is on to replace him. Pearson on now for these last 4 minutes of injury time. We've got 5 minutes indicated in total, and just over a minute of the injury time played now. So we're about 40 minutes away from the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League as Newcastle United take on Manchester United. That game available on this service. But here come Bournemouth with Solanke, gets the ball into the penalty area, and a strike coming in. Gets a big deflection, takes it away from goal. The effort from Jamal Lowe, looped up in the air after his strike. And now Bournemouth trying to get forwards again. Zamora was robbed of the ball, and there was actually a free kick to QPR in the build-up to that. In the midst of all this QPR possession, Bournemouth with a counter-attack. That was a decent pass there from Solanke to find Jamal Lowe. Perhaps Lowe should have looked to try and get that ball back to Solanke rather than shooting for goal himself. It is QPR now pushing forward here with Chris Willock. Stopped at the edge of the area, but he wasn't fouled. On clearance now from Chris Meffam. Back to the halfway line, straight to Johan Barbe. Goes back to Jimmy Dunn. Now Rob Dickey on the right-hand side. Running out here for QPR. Dickey, long ball into the box. It's too long. nobody in a blue and white, nobody in a blue and white shirt is going to get on the end of that one, and it's straight through towards goal kick there for Bournemouth. Keeper Mark Travers just lets that one go. Dominic Solanke has had a good game for Bournemouth this evening. He's scored the only goal. He's had 6 shots, 2 of which have been on target. And he's had 11 touches of the ball in the opposition box as well. So he has had a busy evening. Dominic Solanke, as you can now see Scott Parker getting a bit more animated on that touchline. He knows that his side are less than 2 minutes away now from claiming their first win since early November. Vital for Bournemouth that they do that. Say a 4-0 win against Swansea City on the 6th of November was Bournemouth's last win in the league. They've had 3 defeats and 3 draws since then. Very, very close to getting another win on the board, and a long ball down the right-hand side here for Albert Ndoma to chase. It's just that little bit too long. Ndoma doing his best as the ball boy there, just fetching the ball and quickly putting it down for Mark Travers, just to try and eke out any extra seconds here for QPR. But really, it may just be a little bit too little too late here from Mark Warburton's side. They just couldn't keep that positive start going at the beginning of the second half. And similarly, in the first half, after a positive start, just fell away towards the end of the first 45, which is when Bournemouth scored the only goal of the game. That's for a throw to QPR down the right-hand side. In fact, it's out for a throw to Bournemouth. More frustration here for the home crowd as Jack Stacey takes quite a long time just to prepare this throw on. Goes out of play off the back of Andre Dazelle, out for another throw to Bournemouth, and that may well be it as far as any chance for a QPR in this game. So we've got less than 30 seconds of injury time now. Throw here from Jack Stacey. 2 Bournemouth players. There's a bit of pushing and shoving there on the touchline as well, and Dominic Solanke's been shoved over by Yohan Barbe. There's some real frustration here, pushing and shoving from both sets of players, really unnecessary. Andre Dazelle's getting involved with Chris Meffam, and referee Keith Stroud is going to have to get yellow cards out of plenty here. Ben Pearson now and Rob Dickey getting involved. This is all getting a little bit unnecessary now towards the end of the game. You can see the QPR fans there getting a very frustrated there on the touchline, but this is all going to be too little too late. There's not going to be enough time for a QPR to get an equaliser here now. And referee Keith Stroud, I know quite a few fans in the Championship are very pleased that we don't have VAR in this league, but if we did, it would be doing overtime now to try and work out who needs yellow cards, or maybe even a different colour card as well, because there was some real physical play there. Real physical tussle there between. I mean, Barbe deserves a yellow card for sure. I mean, he grabbed Solanke, threw him down to the ground. Solanke then was taking a little while to pick himself up. That frustrated Barbe even more. And in the end, it looks as though 2 of them are going to get yellow cards. But really, when you saw the way 3 or 4 of the other players reacted there could have been 5 or 6 yellow cards in total for that little incident. We're into the 7th minute of injury time now, so surely the game has only got seconds left. I mean, the ball goes out of play, and it looks as though Solanke was just... Well, there's an elbow there from Barbe. Solanke, of course, perhaps just exaggerating slightly the contact, but it all started with Yohan Barbe being a bit unnecessary there, I thought. Yellow card as well for Chris Meffam. Should be a couple of cards for Rangers players here as well. And you never know, although the incident was fairly short-lived, there may even be an FA charge of failing to control players here, because it really did get very animated for about 30 seconds, and the referee, I think, has just about caught up. Ben Pearson's also got a yellow card. Just waiting to hear if there was any more QPR players booked, but once this goal kick is taken by Timothy Dieng, then really, I mean, the referee is taking an age now to sort this out. But there's going to be a second yellow card and a red for, looks like it's going to be Andre Dazelle, who, I mean, he did get involved unnecessarily there. And I do think, I mean, he's trying to argue the case now with the 4th official, but Dazelle is off the field now. It's a bit of an unsavoury end to this game. Mark Warburton's trying to get to the point across to the 4th official, but at the end of the day, I think it doesn't really affect the way the game was going to go. The challenge from Barbe happened with about 5 seconds of the 5 minutes of injury time still left to play. We're coming up to nearly 9 minutes of injury time played now here at the Key and Prince Foundation Stadium. We're still playing on somehow. QPR are down to 10 men. We shouldn't have any more time in the game as Meffam just leaves the ball and it goes out for a goal kick. By the time Mark Travers takes this, you would imagine that there's going to be no more time left in the game. Just trying to see if we can confirm how many yellows were given there for that incident. I think it was a total of 4 of Barbe, Meffam, Cahill and Dazelle picking up a yellow card. There was also a yellow card for Pearson in all of that. Jefferson Lerma has just been pushed off the ball. Frankly, I don't really understand why we're still playing on. It's almost like the referee's tempting fate here by wanting to start a riot. We've had way more than the allotted time, even if you include the fact that we've had the ball back in play. Travers now clears it long. We should have had full time about 2 minutes ago here, referee. I'm not really quite sure what Keith Stroud is adding more time on for, but it's a long clearance from Timothy Dieng heading towards the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area, headed away now by Gary Cahill, and it's Solanke on the run down the left-hand side. He gets to the edge of the area. Johansson's trying to stop him. Johansson then pushes over Dominic Solanke, and it's out for a goal kick. But in fact, no, it's been given as a free kick. Where is the referee getting all this time from? I do not understand. 99 minutes on the clock now. And bearing in mind that, well, finally now the referees remember that the game's actually supposed to finish, and it is all over at the Key and Prince Foundation Stadium. Bit of a bad-tempered end to the game, but it is Bournemouth who go top of the league this evening with a 1-0 win after a strike from the header from Dominic Solanke on 41 minutes. Coming up in just over half an hour's time, it is going to be Newcastle United against Manchester United on this service. But for myself, Paul Shabakovic, thank you very much. Join us again soon.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why